Buenas tardes, I'm Greg Casar, and I'm Labor's nominee to the United States Congress. How are we doing? I'm gonna use this one instead if it's okay with y'all. What do you think?
Yeah.
Hasta la victoria! My journey to this stage began organizing alongside you and alongside construction workers who are being denied their basic right to a water break. My journey to this stage began organizing alongside housekeepers who would labor week after week on end and then be denied their paycheck entirely by corrupt employers. Those corporations thought that Texas working people could not fight back. They were wrong, and we are here. We built new unions, we grew the labor movement, we passed policies raising wages for tens of thousands of families. We even elected a young organizer to the Austin City Council. But we did not stop there. We fought for tenants' rights. We fought for workers' rights. We passed some of the most progressive policies protecting workers, better than almost anywhere else in the country. And we didn't do it top down. We did it side by side. We showed them what Texas worker power can look like. And if there's something I learned, not as a member of the city council, not running for Congress, but as an organizer, is that the power in this state rests with working people. It rests with you all here at this event, not with the mega corporations or the far-right politicians. They pay off. We have no worse example than the governor whose mansion is here across the street. And what we have to remember is that he does not represent Texans or Texas values, Democratic, Independent, or Republican. Because during the pandemic, when people froze, people got sick, people lost their jobs and their homes, he was supposed to be our first responder. And how did he respond? He banned books, he banned abortions, he tried to pick on young kids and their families. He tried to turn us against each other and blame the vulnerable for our problems. Shameful cowardice. Just like Ted Cruz, who got on a plane and went to the beach as people here in our community froze. But the real heroes in those crises were Texas working people, our nurses taking care of folks in overflowing hospital rooms, our teachers taking care of our kids and students, you all who went door to door delivering food, delivering blankets during the storm, the people who went out into the night onto icy light poles to get the power back on, folks that gave up their own hard-earned dollars to make sure their neighbors could pay the rent. That's the real Texas. That's who we are. That's what we believe. We believe in lifting one another up, in mourning each other's losses. At our best, we lead with generous love and fearlessly hold the powerful accountable. We are, you all are, the real working Texans, not the kleptocrats. That's why we believe in raising the starvation minimum wage of $7.25 to a union wage so that you can pay the rent. That's what I believe. Do you guys believe that? That's why we believe during this pandemic, instead of a few billionaires making $2 trillion, working class Texans should have gotten a big raise instead of a rent increase in this town. Do you guys believe that? That's why we believe that immigrant rights are human rights, that Black Lives Matter. We believe in the rights of our LGBTQ brothers and sisters. I believe that. Bernie Sanders believes that. Do you all believe that? Texas labor movement. And I have some more good news for us at this celebration, because we need to celebrate our wins as we build this movement. And the good news is that Texas has a deep history of progressive organizing. And we should look back at that history in this moment of truth. Emma Tenayuca, a 22-year-old labor organizer in San Antonio in the 1930s, organized one of the most important strikes in American history, the pecan shellers strike. She led 15,000 Mexican-American women to walk off the job. They were beaten, they were gassed, they were told to go back to work. They wouldn't go back to work. They were jailed. There wasn't enough room in the jail for 15,000 striking women. They persisted and fought until they pushed the president to sign the first ever minimum wage into law, We brought workers' rights to this country, Texas, and it's going to be us that brings them back. Let's talk about Sarah Weddington, a 26-year-old attorney. She knew Texas's abortion ban was wrong. Not today's abortion ban, but back in 1970. She had never taken a case to trial before. She was a fresh, new attorney, just graduated from law school here up the street. But she knew it was wrong, so she decided to sue Dallas District Attorney Henry Wade. She took him all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court. People told her she could never win. She delivered the decision and won 7-2 and brought Roe v. Wade and abortion rights to this country. Texans won abortion rights. It's up to us to bring back people's basic rights. It's up to you guys. LBJ, our president, who had his apartment here at 11th and Congress, he was pushed by the civil rights movement. He was pushed by the workers' rights movement. He was pushed by organized Texans like you all. He was pushed by a person from New York in his younger days, Bernie Sanders, to deliver. And he delivered the Voting Rights Act. He signed the Civil Rights Act. He created Medicare. A Texan signed that into law. So it only makes sense that if Texas brought us those things, it should be organized Texans that bring us to the next stage. Expand Medicare to Medicare for all so that you don't live or die based on whether you are rich or poor. What do you guys say about that? That's some Texas organizing, y'all. That's what we can do together. That's how we get free trade school and public college tuition free in this country. That's how we legalize marijuana in this country. That's how we repeal all right to work for less laws and pass the PRO Act so that everybody in America has access to a union. That's how we make Beto O'Rourke our governor, and we can cheer for that. And that's how we change this state, not just from one run by the corrupt Republican Party to the Democratic Party, but also change this state from one run by the billionaire class to a state that works for working class Texans. Now, I'm also here to tell y'all the truth. And the honest truth of the matter is, this will not be quick. This will not be easy. We are not a red state, we're an under-organized state. And we are under-organized for a reason. For decades, but actually really for centuries. The far right wing and those people trying to protect their own power and their own greed have divided us. They've stoked up racist divisions in our society. They've oppressed some people over another. They've tried to blame the poor for their struggles instead of blaming those in power. They have spread propaganda amongst us. They've even put in legalized structural barriers to making our democracy work. For example, gerrymandering, which makes it so politicians can pick their voters rather than the other way around. When I win and become your member of Congress in January, we will fight to end that, but Texas Democrats in Congress may be outnumbered 2-1 by Texas Republicans, even if more Democrats vote than Republicans in this election because of gerrymandering. They've packed the Supreme Court with corporate sellouts. They have allowed, through Citizens United, unlimited dark money in our elections. The barriers are high. So I want to be real with y'all that this will take a longer struggle than any 1, 2, or 3 elections. The barriers are high, but the stakes are so much higher, and that's why we can't give up. We can never give up because we can save millions of jobs and homes and lives if we tackle the climate crisis and create good union jobs in the renewable energy industry and stand up to the CEOs. We can save kids' lives who could be mowed down by weapons of war if we ban those assault weapons and stand up to the NRA. We can save this democracy that has been passed down to us for centuries and perfect it for working people if we pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, make sure everyone has a right to vote, and stop the next January 6th insurrection. It is in us, and it is not too late. We need a lifelong commitment to long-term power building, just like Emma Tenayuca nearly a century ago, just like Sarah Weddington 50 years ago. We can make that commitment together. And that means organizing in our communities. That means doing things like our nurses did, organizing the first ever union hospital in the history of Austin, Texas. Or like our hotel workers who won the first ever union hotel in the history of Austin, Texas. Or like the integral care workers who organized their first union in the history of this state, and now it's spreading all over the state of Texas. Just like the Starbucks workers here and across the country, the Amazon workers here and across the country, the workers' defense and AFSCME and building trades that won that $20 an hour minimum wage, that we should make the wage for every single American at minimum. That's what we can build, organizing alongside tenants, organizing whether you are housed or unhoused, union or non-union, black, white, or brown. We have to stand up for the people we know, and the people we know are coming in generations to come. Are y'all with me? So now I want us to take a moment and look at the people beside you, in front of you, behind you. Really, do it. Look them in the eyes. These are the people who know that the world as it is not the world as it must be. These are the people we are recommitting to with today, changing this state and therefore this country. I'm not going to DC to bend the arc of history towards justice alone. Instead, we are here in Austin, Texas to recruit each other to do so. What do y'all say? And there is no greater example of someone who has made that lifelong commitment to organizing for social and economic justice than Senator Bernie Sanders. Before he was mayor, before he was congressman, before he was senator, Bernie was an organizer. He was in the civil rights movement, marching, getting dragged into a paddy wagon by the police, standing up for what is right. Millions of us stand on your shoulders. We have been inspired by you. We have been trained by you, our organizer-in-chief. Thank you for coming and creating this boost to our movement. Austin, Texas, Senator Bernie Sanders.